my name is Joy, and today we're doing a blood review video. The first thing I'm gonna say about this video is that I do not think that it is suitable for children. Not at all, actually. If you as a parent want to watch this in advance and make up your mind for yourself, that is of course up to you. There are segments that are definitely more harmless, and this is also gonna be a more trigger-heavy video than the last ones that I've made. And today's triggers will include fake blood, bovine blood, and human blood, as well as a tiny bit of cutting. What I will do is that I will make a tiny incision in my index finger using a scalpel. This is something that you should not try to replicate in any way, shape or form. I will do this with some safety precautions. I will sterilize the finger, I will use a clean scalpel, and I have a nurse at hand if something would go wrong. I will do this in order to show you a more authentic comparison with the color and with how it flows, so we can compare the different types of blood with, the real deal, so to speak. Alright, I will also make a timestamp here, so you can skip the cutting if that is something that you don't feel comfortable watching at all, but you still want to see the other content. So that comes here. Alright, let's get started then. Alright, so I have filled up these tiny little cups. This is the bovine blood. You can see it's quite dark, but when I swirl it like this, you can see the lighter red shade as well. This is the first edible blood we made. It's also darker, but it doesn't have as much of the red. Splashed a little on myself, but that's alright. This is the vegan blood. It's lighter, but has the same red to it. And this is some store-bought fake blood. Have very much of the redness and is also very dark. So what we will do in this review is, the first thing we're gonna do is look at color when it's droplets and see how it runs as well. Then we will use these little cloths to show how it looks on fabric. Then we will see how easily they wash. I have made different shapes here, so we can compare it when or if the stains are gone. We will also talk a little bit about pros and cons and when it is more suitable to use one type of blood apart from another, and so on. Alright, so I'm sanitizing the finger. You might think that it's a bit weird that I will show the actual cutting, but I want to make sure that you know it's not fake, and then it's a genuine comparison. Alright. There we go, great. Wasn't so bad. You might also wonder why I use a scalpel and not a needle, and that is simply because needles is something that I really don't like, especially not in the fingers. I think it's far more easily and less painful to use a scalpel. So, it's a very tiny drop. Let's see if I can get a right focus here. No, I think it's better out here. Alright, so you can see it's quite bright. It's quite small too. I wish it could squeeze out a little bit more so we can see it run. Alright, yeah, there we go. Oh. Let's see. It's very, very red and it's quite bright. And this is because the blood that I've drawn here is arterial blood. There's a difference between arterial and venous blood. Arterial blood is brighter and more red. This is because it has bound to the oxygen that it's taken up on its way from the lungs, and that saturates the hemoglobin in the blood, which gives us this color. The venous blood is on its way to collect the oxygen and doesn't have as much of it inside, and that's why the saturation is different, and it's a more darker shade of blood, almost a bit blackish. Alright, so we're gonna compare this. There wasn't much of a flow with this blood, unfortunately, because it was such a tiny amount. But I'm gonna start with the bovine blood and see if I can... Yeah, you see that's like the exact same color. Maybe a little darker, because I think that this blood is mixed. That means both arterial and venous blood. Yeah, it's definitely darker. I'm gonna have a little bit more so we can see how it drops. And this is, you know, blood as much as humans' blood, so the consistency here is accurate. You can see it's a bit runny. And you can see the trail too. We talked about the trail, right? It's a red trail, not a pink trail, and it's a little bit orange maybe, or brown. Alright. Oh, of course, before this blood dries, I'm gonna use a shape for that too, so we can see how the blood washes out and how it looks on fabric. Alright, there we have a little stain. I'm gonna save that for later. And we're gonna try our edible blood that we made, the first edible blood that we made. Yeah, that's also a light red color. Maybe on the darker side. Ooh. It's a bit runnier. And the stains are not as prominent. You can see the bovine blood darkening here. The dried blood effect is quite hard to do, actually. I think we need more edible blood. Yeah, that's a little runnier in consistency. I'm gonna try the vegan blood. Just gonna see that my hand is on camera, yes. Yeah, it's a bit too light, I think. Both edible bloods has been in the fridge overnight, but the consistency is better. This was runnier before. But it doesn't leave much of a stain. Now we're gonna see what the FX blood can do. I got a thumb, right? Yeah, got a thumb. Good thing I didn't have 6 different kinds of blood. Yeah, that's very thick. That's a bit thicker than the human blood. It's very slow, and it's a bit darker in the drop. Very thick trail. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And now that I've taken it off, it's a little bit pink. So we're gonna stain all of these with our respective blood. And I'm gonna tell you right away that the edible blood is probably not gonna be the best on the fabric. We don't usually make edible blood to be specifically on fabric. There we go. Oh, we got a little friend here. Hello. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna look at the stains. These have dried a little bit. You can see the human blood. Whoopsie. Well, I'll have to fix that later. This is the bovine blood. Quite clear. Yeah, this is the first edible blood. It's very pink on fabric. Very soaked in. Same with the vegan blood. Very faint, very pink. The SF blood is more red, but you can see in the corners where there's not so much blood that it is a little bit more pink as well. You're not allowed on the table, honey. There we go. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna soak these in water, then add soap and wash them with soap and water, just like you do when you try to remove a blood stain. Alright? So what I've done now is I have put away the fabric to soak. I have put on a little band-aid, yay! I have also moved off here because one of my lovely little cats got very curious and I don't want her to accidentally ingest something that's not good for her. Alright, so we're gonna discuss a little bit of pros and cons and how we can use blood. So, the bovine blood is of course the most lifelike because it is actual blood. So if you want authenticity, like in a movie maybe, you would like to use this. On fabric where you want the dried blood effect. The con, of course, being that This can attract flies, it can smell bad if it's on for long, and yeah, it's animal product, so if you're vegetarian or vegan you might not want to use it, and not suitable for eating. So, edible blood. We got the first one we made. It's edible, so you can use it near your mouth. It's biodegradable, and it's quite lifelike, a little dark, can also be a little light, but it's fun to make yourself. Vegan blood, I would say about the same. This turned out a lot lighter. Also, as we learned on fabrics, these aren't the best. And this is really tasty, so that's good. You can use it if you're a vegan, and yeah, it's biodegradable as well. The SFX blood, well, kind of lifelike, very thick. This is suitable for makeup, which you can't say with the other types of blood, really. This is perfect for SFX wounds and things that's gonna sit on very long. This is non-toxic, but it's definitely not edible. You should never use this around your mouth. And yeah, this also, it says on the bottle that you should keep it away from furniture, that the stains might stay on. So if you want stains on your clothes but you're really careful with them, then this blood is probably not suitable. Alright, as we talked before about, there are different shades of blood, arterial and venous. There's also a painter, an American painter called Vincent Castilla, who uses his own blood as color for his paintings. And he can make different shades through different processes. I don't know exactly what these processes are, but maybe fermentation, stuff like that, maybe some chemicals involved, and he can make a lot of different shades from red to brown to a little bit of pink. And yeah, they're quite beautiful. I will spell it for you here, so you can check it out if you're interested in that sort of thing. Alright, we will do a time jump to when our cloths are ready to come out and be washed. Yeah! So, the cloth is finished washing, and I blow dried it with a hairdryer. So, yeah, as you can see, the human blood one is clean. The bovine blood also clean. The edible blood clean. The vegan blood clean. The SFX has some light pink stains on it. Yeah, there you can see them a little bit. Yeah. But I think if I put this in the washing machine, the last would probably go out as well. Yeah, but I still wouldn't recommend using the SFX on clothes that you're very careful about. But yeah, that's it for this review, I think. See you next time, bye!